plaintiff, Kristen Elaine, says she is a daddy's girl. And when the defendant was married to her father, she was always jealous of their relationship. Kristen says as a result of the defendant's animosity, she filed a restraining order against Kristen, and she's suing her former stepmother for personal property. Defendant Maureen Hodgson says she and Kristen never liked each other because Kristen was disrespectful. Maureen says she filed restraining orders against Kristen and her father after a heated argument with Kristen's father, which was caught on tape. And she insists she's not withholding any of Kristen's property.
Tell me what's happening.
Well, this is my former stepmother, Maureen. I see her more as my dad's ex-wife. My dad and I have always had a really wonderful relationship. We've been together through so much stuff, been each other's support, and I've always been a daddy's girl. This is a relationship that has never sat well with Maureen. In my eyes, her view is anything that my father gave to me took away from her. And now I'm sitting here with a false protection order having been filed against me.
Has it been rocky all along?
She was nice to me until she married my father. I've been telling my father for years that he was nothing but a paycheck.
Give me some examples of her turning on you.
Oh my goodness. When my grandfather was passing away, I was not allowed to stay at the house.
Why? You weren't told why?
She's never liked me.
That's what she said?
She offered the several days.
You ain't staying here. I ain't never liked you.
She claims that I did something to her once upon a time.
So you can't stay here because you did something to me.
The space was offered to my brother and his family.
But did she tell you why you couldn't? She did not? Never did?
No. Why was I not allowed to stay?
It wasn't just you, Kristen. The deal was that you and your brother would switch off and stay with your grandmother, and then you'd stay 3 days at our house.
And she changed her mind. Why couldn't she stay there?
No, she didn't.
She wasn't refused?
No.
At any point?
No.
Don't be looking like that. You come on up, Daddy. Don't be looking like you swallowed a canary. State your name.
I'm Charles Hodgson.
You want to deal with this one issue?
Yes, Your Honor. Kristen was never welcome in my house from the time that Maureen and I got married. There was always something. I once questioned her and I asked her, why don't you like Kristen? She said, well, you know. And I said, well, no, I don't. You'll have to explain that to me. And she says, well, then I can't explain it to you. And this comes back to some slight that was imagined from her from the time that we were in Missouri for Kristen's wedding in July of 2005.
Why didn't you like her? And did you tell your ex-husband that?
Neither one of us liked each other. She didn't like me either. It was always a situation where she's daddy's girl.
Where'd that come from, the dislike?
She never respected me in my own home. She had more say-so in my own home. And of course, that's going to cause some animosity. She gets away with whatever she wants to, regardless of the situation. Was
she there when you got married?
Well, she didn't live with us at that point. And frankly, when she came to move in with us, it was my idea that she and her family moved with us.
No, I was saying, because, you know, if his daughter was there and he had raised his daughter there in that household, it doesn't just totally become your household when you move in there, where you can say, get out, I'm here now.
No, it didn't happen that way.
I'm just curious. All right,
Your Honor, this was not a one-time thing.
Okay.
The year prior to Kristen and her family moving in with me, Maureen's oldest son and his family moved in with me. And two families under one roof, as often happens, there's going to be friction. We tried to do the best that we could.
Yeah, that's sticky. I know of one couple, the parent, I believe it was living with the son. And when the son got married, the new wife said she got to go. I want to be here by myself, just me and you. He said, well, I'll tell you what. We can go and get this annulled and you can just be here by yourself. In other words, I put my mama out. She was already here. Now, we should have discussed this beforehand. Not once we get married, you suddenly become empowered enough to tell me to put my family out. That's something should have been discussed beforehand, I suppose. But I'm not a marriage counselor. That's not my deal. That's Dr. Phil. Personal property. Why are you suing her for that? What happened?
Okay, so from the moment I moved in, it was a rough go. My welcome was really, I was not welcome. And that was made very apparent to me from the moment I arrived at the home.
We know that.
From then on, things just snowballed downhill. In November, my dad presented her with wanting a divorce. On November 16th, she came to me with a tearful apology, just that she had been so wrong to me, and just because I'm different does not make me bad, and that she knew I was a good person. It was such a compelling apology. I thought it was beautiful. I left the house. I'm texting and calling everybody, oh my God, you're not gonna guess what, this just happened. November 19th, her and my father got into an argument. I actually opted to remove myself from the home and remove myself from the situation. I gave her a big hug before I left, and I told her it was going to be okay. On the morning of November 22nd, just after 10 o'clock in the morning, there was a knock on the door from the Adams County Sheriff. We were told that we had 15 minutes to gather our stuff that we could live off of. So we scrambled.
We as in whom?
Me and my dad.
Oh, it was her house.
It's my dad's house, but she had a protection order put against the both of us and had us removed.
Colorado law.
Yeah.
It's our house.
We looked through, I have the protection order here. We looked through the protection order and saw that we were allowed to have a police escort back to the residence one time for 15 minutes to gather more things. We went back to the home, and I got to my room. It had been ransacked. There were things thrown everywhere. My closet had been gone through. My drawers had been rifled through. My money jar was dumped out. There was pennies everywhere. I made mention to the police officer that my room had been gone through. There were things missing. 3 DSIs that I had in my room were gone. He said it was a civil case. There was nothing they could do about it.
All right, you have a list of the items?
I do.
We should have discussed this beforehand. Not once we get married, you suddenly become empowered to tell me to put my family out. That's something should have been discussed beforehand, I suppose. But I'm not a marriage counselor. That's not my deal. That's Dr. Phil.
Plaintiff Kristen Elaine is suing her former stepmother, who claims she filed restraining orders against Kristen and her father after a heated argument with Kristen's father, which was caught on tape.
Ma'am, let me hear from you.
First off, I want to state I did not take any of her items. I do not have any of her items. This all started in November, like she stated. Her father and I did get into an argument. It turned into an abusive situation. I have a video showing so. And my niece was taking a video at the time.
I have to say that video is irrelevant because it shows an argument between my father and her. I was not involved in that, and this case involves the fact that I was removed from the house on a false protection order.
You're the one mentioned it first.
The video?
The fight. And this is a video of the fight.
But what I did in that...
It is relevant. You mentioned the fight.
I did mention the fight.
Her response to you mentioning the fight is, Judge, let me show you the fight. So go ahead. How do you want to respond to her mentioning the fight? You want to show me the fight.
I want you to see the video.
So you can give your defense to the fight.
It proves why I had to have the protection order served.
Yeah. You better go to law school before you get in here trying to speak about what's relevant and what isn't. Let's see the fight.
You stupid. Woo. Just to let you know, I'm recording you, Chuck. See, that's unnecessary because I don't have anything to do with this.
But you're standing there recording it.
Got you pushing her and calling her a though. I didn't see her push you.
No, you're not putting my clothes on the floor.
Well, then get them off the table.
This is my table. I believe them on my table.
The table's going outside.
No, it is not.
Is this you?
Yes, sir.
You are not putting my stuff outside. You are not going to do that.
All right. So what do you want to say about the property she alleges you retained?
Well, I don't have any of her property. There's nothing of hers I would want.
Did they come back together with a police escort?
Yes, they did.
At one point?
They came back in, we go back to court. After you have a protection order, you go back 10 days later.
All right, when they came, what did she take?
I'm not sure, sir.
You weren't there?
I was there, but they were busy taking food out of the freezer, food from the pantry. I would think if something was worth value to her, she would have gotten that.
Nothing in the bedroom, huh?
She was up there. I'm not sure what she took.
And you say you didn't touch her property at all. Anyone have any evidence about anything in this case?
Actually, All of my belongings had been moved out.
Evidence that can contradict what she's saying.
Yes. I had looked in my jewelry box and noticed all my jewelry was missing.
Verifiable evidence. Not your word, man.
Well, no, I'm getting. She
right.
told me to check her niece's Facebook page. That she didn't know where my stuff went, but to look at her niece's
Let's
Facebook
see it,
page.
please.
I
And
have
what does
pictures
this
of her
tell me?
niece wearing my jewelry, my clothing,
Of her?
my shoes, her niece.
You have pictures of her niece?
She told me when I went to pick my
you know
stuff
anything
up.
about your niece getting these items?
Every time I saw something that I thought might have been Kristen's that my niece had, I got from her.
Do you know how she may have gotten access to them in the beginning?
I was not there when the things were moved.
Does she live there?
No, she did. She no longer lives there.
Did her niece live there?
Yeah.
With all of you?
And
Yes.
actually,
All right.
Kristen and my niece became very good
So
friends.
it could be that Denise took the stuff. How are you going to blame her when you have clear evidence that Denise had it on?
So what happened is there's also pictures of her grandchildren wearing
Ma'am,
clothes.
they could have taken it.
When she had me removed from the home, she became responsible for my items. She had me
Not true.
falsely
No,
removed.
not true. They had other people living there. And you weren't evicted unlawfully. You were ordered to stay away by a restraining order because your dad was being violent.
Which on December 1st, for a second
Here you go
court date,
practicing law again. Have a
went-
good day. Your case is dismissed. We don't know who took the things. You have nothing showing that she took it. Instead, you've given me evidence that other people took it. Have a good day. Case dismissed.
I saw your daughter wearing my clothes.
My daughter was not wearing your
Wasn't your
clothes,
daughter?
honey.
Your
Your
daughter's
daughter
3
was
sizes
way
bigger.
bigger than mine.
Way bigger.
I bought that shirt. I know exactly what shirt you think you're talking about, and I bought that shirt.
I had her removed because it was a hostile, volatile situation. And when I'm at work, who knows what her father and her would be doing.